All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I just went through and graded everybody's assignments from last week. Sorry for the late turnaround time. Again, I was ill, but they're graded. For the most part, they were pretty good. I would have liked to seen a little bit more detail on the types of information that would have been shared with the the different channels, but for the most part, you all were on the right track. Okay. The one other thing that I did notice that was a common theme, I wouldn't say common theme, but more common than I would like to see, is you have to remember that all assignments must have references. We get this information from somewhere, so all assignments have to have those references, and you'll really see that the different types of references in this coming week's assignment, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. So, are there any questions from last week?
No, not really. I mean, other than referencing some of the information that I put in mine, I don't know what reference source I would be putting, other than, I mean, it's a creation of our own, so it's an independent project. So.
But you get that information from somewhere, right? So, like you had information. You had information about different television station personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. Yes, I did. You're right. Okay. I should have referenced that. I understand now. Okay. Got it.
All right. And those are the things that I'm talking about. And again, you'll see why that is really important this coming week. So this week's assignment is you need to create a budget based on your communication channels that you just did last week.
Okay.
All right. And you'll see if you haven't already, some of the comments that I put in terms of if we were talking about radio and television, you need to think about the expense, and is that expense worth the exposure? All right. So in other words, if you're going to run a commercial, or if you're going to run a radio ad, how much is it going to cost you, and how many times do you have to actually run that to hit the number of people that you want to hit to get the exposure and the engagement that you actually are trying to achieve. And so those are the things that you have to actually think about as you're putting it together. All right. Same thing kind of goes for newspapers. Is it worth spending money for something that is not it's not within that 24-hour news cycle that we're just putting out there and hoping somebody's going to see. Very hard to measure the engagement. Those different types of things.
Yeah.
So this is going to actually require you to contact these media outlets and talk about, a lot of times you'll be able to find their newspapers, especially, you'll be able to find their price schedule online somewhere, but contacting these other outlets and look and asking them for their price schedule, that's really what it's going to require. All right.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
How long is the budget supposed to be?
It's again, this is, I don't want this formatted like a paper. I want, as a budget, this should really be kind of in an Excel sheet or in table format. I want to see what it's actually going to cost you to put on this PR campaign.
So no specific length. It's just how long it takes us.
Right. I mean, it's and again, it's not really a length. It's more like a line item budget, like you do for yourself or for any other business. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a paper.
Should we be looking to try and keep this in a set price range, or should we kind of just go where it takes us?
Go where it takes you, but understand that this needs to be kind of realistic and reasonable.
Sure.
Right. And you know, I know that there's some people that are not on the call. This is really kind of pertains to you. You know, when I tell you that I don't want this to be a national. This isn't something that's national. This is one that's local to you and what you're actually doing. Right.
Okay.
You know, many of the things that I'm planning on doing don't really cost anything but time and individuals doing the outreach themselves.
Right.
Do I need to quantify that in any way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Time isn't free. I mean, it has to be budgeted somewhere, you know, because that if we're doing it, excuse me. So if we're doing it part of our regularly assigned job duties, that's still going to be budgeted somewhere, right? If we're doing it as an extra piece, you know, then that has to be budgeted for, you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes, overtime, or, you know, what is it costing us personally in time? So that may not be something that we actually pay ourselves, but we have to look at it from that standpoint. You know, if it's going to take us 5 hours, what would we pay ourselves, or what would we be paying somebody else to perform these tasks? Okay.
I kind of lost you part of what you said, but I think I get what your meaning was. So.
Okay. Yeah. Ultimately, nothing is free.
No,
right?
No. I mean, time is worth something. So I get that.
And to kind of go along with that, in the last class that I taught, you know, there was a teacher.
Lost you.
I'm sorry. You with me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So in the last class, there was a teacher who said, well, she would just go to the copy machine and make copies. Well, that's great, but you still have to account for those copies. You know, if it's 10 cents a copy, it's 10 cents a copy, and that has to go into the budget. It may be free, but it's not really free.
No, ultimately somebody's paying for that. So.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So other questions for this week's assignment? All right. All right. So some content stuff for this week. And I just forgot his name. The video. It's phenomenal. He does a really good job. Oh, let me pull it up here. Jeez.
I'm pulling it up too.
Yeah, I was just watching it.
I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but
I saw it last night. It was pretty sporty.
Yeah, Jimmy Lin, the guy from he started with AOL. Really good. Even though that video is a little outdated, it kind of gives you an idea of where we've come from a PR media standpoint. So I thought that was really good. And then I would look at the PowerPoints. Let me first talk about the news releases and fact sheet PowerPoints. That's something that I used to focus a lot on. But with where we are, the idea of a fact sheet or a press release, they've almost gone to the wayside. We still do them, but they're all done electronically. And so, there's really not that big importance put on the structure, but the content, the way the content that goes in them is still very important, but the structure of them is not. So kind of focus on that one, and then the other PowerPoint. It talks about staging interviews and media events.
Well, hold on just a second, Dylan. I'm really going to have to ask you to mute again. Your keyboard's killing me.
Yeah,
I can't hear what he's saying.
And it's throwing me off.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud. Wow.
He's hammering away.
I'm glad he's taking notes, but it doesn't take much for me. My ADHD, it doesn't take much. All right, so the PowerPoint with that talks about interviews and media events. One thing that we really have to keep in mind is that anytime that we have media on our site, that's our time to really put a good foot forward. We need to make sure that we're treating them well, that we give them the space that they need to work, that we're hosting them at a time that they can do the interviews or do the press conference, whatever it is, in time to meet whatever deadlines that they need to do. The key being that if we treat them well, they're going to be much more likely to write a favorable story or a favorable report of whatever that event actually is, even if we're in crisis mode. All right. So keep in mind the idea that when we host the media, that they really are our guests, and we have to go that extra mile to keep them happy.
Hospitality is a key.
It's very important. Very important.
On the discussion, I do have a question about that.
Oh gosh,
They're asking us this hypothetical situation, and then asking us to prepare a press release, basically, or
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What I would like is you don't necessarily have to prepare a press release, but I would like for you to outline how you would handle the situation. You know, what your response would actually be.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's kind of a tough. The way that discussion was worded is kind of tough to do in a discussion.
It would be worth it.
Okay.
Not to have to deal with her.
I'm still confused.
What are you confused with, Dylan?
Because I know it said you want a comprehensive proposal, but does that mean you want it basically like a press release when somebody posts like so and so got fired from the job at the University of Miami or whatever?
I don't understand what you're asking, Dylan.
Do you want it to be like a regular press release, or do you want it to be like a press release but in a scholarly way? Because it said, after reviewing the scenario above, we need to have an initial post of 300 words. So how do you want us to do this assignment?
I just want you to write it in a way in how you would normally respond to the media. So in other words, I'm not actually looking for a press release, because you can't actually do a press release within the discussion frame, right? But I want you to actually respond like you would. Okay. So this isn't a scholarly type of assignment.
Should we almost consider it like how we would issue the statement to the press?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, that's kind of the route that I was on. Just want to make sure that that's
Oh,
good.
good Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you, Justin. That's kind of how I was looking at it too, is how you would release the information as to his resignation and what led up to it and such.
Yeah, and just remember, in those types of situations, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to give away too much information because we don't really have a lot of information, and also don't want to make assumptions. Well, we never want to make an assumption in a press release, ever.
We only want to state the facts.
Correct.
What type of sources should we be looking for this? I know it asks for one academic source. I mean,
Well, that would be the justification piece on why you would on why you've responded the way that you've actually responded. So, and I'm pulling the assignment up now. If you look at it from the standpoint of actually in dealing, I'm sorry for parsing my words here, but when we deal with in crisis, there are essentially 9 different ways that we can deal in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So I gather you want us to prepare the response and then give us, and then in turn also give you a reason for why we would respond that way.
Yes, and that doesn't have to be long. 2-3 sentences tops.
Sure. Gotcha. But just a justification, and that's where our references would come in more likely than anything else.
Exactly.
Okay. I got you.
All right.
I'm not trying to make it harder than it is, but it's a tough scenario.
It is. It is. All right.
Could I send you what I have so far and see what I need to change about it, or if I'm going off on a different tangent?
Dylan, I would love to do that, but I'm still trying to catch up.
Okay.
Right. And the beauty of this whole sickness is I'm supposed to leave for a conference on Wednesday. So,
Oh boy.
yeah,
Yeah, you need to get better.
I do. Quick.
And the assignment's due Wednesday. Oopsie.
So, and that kind of leads into next week's meeting will be on Wednesday, not Monday, because I don't get back till Tuesday. All right. So.
Okay. That shouldn't be a problem, but that schedule's a little off right now. We just lost an employee and I'm in the process of trying to replace an employee. So
Oh my, that's not good either.
we're down to 3 trainers for 450 athletes. So
Not good. That's four for 350 athletes isn't good, let alone 3.
yeah,
I feel for you.
I'll be glad to watch.
Not fun. You don't have to do a press release for that, do you?
No, we've already. She wasn't fired; she quit. So
Okay.
and it was on her own accord. It was time for her to move on. So
And
no issues. I'd have kept her here, but she didn't want to stay. So I don't want her here if she doesn't want to be here.
that's it.
I don't want to beg anybody to stay anywhere.
No.
All right, so I've got one other thing that I want to share with you guys. One of our faculty responsibilities is we have it's a biweekly professional development call, and so last week we did it, and something was brought to my attention, and I thought I would share it with you guys. You know, the St. Thomas Master's Program has been around for a long, long time. There's graduates working out there all over the country, and they've done a really good job at promoting themselves. St. Thomas has. With the advent of the online program, they don't want you all to feel that because you all aren't on campus that you're not part of that St. Thomas family. And if you want to reach out to those other alums, to feel free to do so, and that you all would be welcomed. So I did want to share that with you guys.
Could you repeat that? I lost you for a second, probably at the most important part.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. So, nutshell, the St. Thomas Master's Program has been around for forever, and they've done a really good job promoting themselves, and their graduates are working all over the country and doing a great job. When they instituted the online program, they've kind of gotten the feeling that you all as online students don't feel a connection to the institution and to the program. So they wanted us to share with you all that, you know, it's okay, and you all are encouraged to reach out to St. Thomas alums, you know, to make those types of connections so that you do feel that connection to the program and to the institution.
Okay.
Okay.
We appreciate that.
And if there's anything that I can do to help in that manner, I will. You know, like I said, you know, earlier in the semester, this is only the third time I've taught with them, but anything that I can do, I'd be happy to. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday.
You
Yes,
too.
Pat.
Safe travels.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.